Hi everyone. Okay, so I'm finally going to do my Bare Minerals matte foundation routine. It was requested that I do one, so I'm very happy to do that. So right now I have no makeup on my face. The only thing that I've done is cleansed, of course, and moisturized with this Aveeno Daily Moisturizer with SPF 30. I find that this one is really good because with Bare Minerals or any mineral foundation, it's kind of really important what kind of moisturizer you use. You really want to use one that's very moisturizing, not oily, but that's gonna give the mineral something to kind of stick to. So I've already done that, and now I'm going to conceal, just because I feel like the Bare Minerals matte foundation doesn't give as good as coverage for my under eye circles. So I'm using this Double Wear concealer by Estee Lauder, and then I just pat this underneath my eyes. And you want to be gentle under the eye area because it's very, the skin around there is really thin, so be careful not to tug. Okay, actually I need a little bit more there. And sometimes I'll use a primer, and then other days I'll be lazy or I don't have time. Like, I'll just forget. So it's really about what works for your skin. I have oily skin, so I do find that priming does make a huge difference throughout the day. I find that I don't get as oily as quickly. But also I'm using the matte Bare Minerals, not the original one, because that one just really was way too shiny for me. And also I'm going to take a clean finger and dab some concealer and then just dab it into some of the blemishes that I have right now. And this one especially right here. I don't know where that came from. I haven't done anything different to my skincare routine or anything, so I'm not sure. Okay, just dab it wherever you feel like you need some coverage. Okay. Alright, and then I'm going to take my kabuki brush. Oh, and the primer that I sometimes use, let's see here, where did I put it? Oh, it fell. Okay, I use the Prime Time by Bare Minerals. So I take a very, very small amount, about that much, if you can see that, and then just take it and then just dab it. And I focus it around the areas where I get oily, which is my T-zone, especially my nose. And you kind of just want to pat it in. Okay. Alright. And then I'm just going to let that kind of dry, just because I don't want to put the mineral foundation right on it. So just let that dry. Okay. And I'm using the color Golden Medium. At first I was using medium beige, but it was too light for me, and I didn't know that, because I had seen Golden Medium in stores before, but it looked too yellow in the container. Like, the foundation looked really yellow. But I do have very kind of golden, yellowy undertones to my skin. So I went to Sephora and I asked to kind of get matched better, because I told them that the medium beige wasn't working really well. And she matched me up with this, and it is perfect. Like, I have never found a color that matches me this perfectly, which with every sort of foundation, there's always one that makes it too dark or too light for my skin tone and not enough yellow or golden tones in it. So I was really happy that she recommended me this color. And now I'm just tapping it in. I'm getting a little bit for the first round, and I do this in layers. So then you know the drill with the Bare Minerals. Just swirl it, and I don't really tap because I don't find that that's really necessary, but you can if you want to. And now I'm just going to start buffing. And really, really buff it into your skin. You kind of want to melt the minerals into your moisturizer and your skin. And the brush I'm using is by Sephora, but it's really old, so I need to get a new one because this one sheds like crazy. And that's really annoying. So there's the first layer, and then I take a little bit more. Again, swirl it. Tap it. Sometimes I tap it, sometimes I don't. And my problem areas are my cheeks. That's where I have either some breakouts or scars from previous breakouts. I want to get your neck a little bit too, because even though this foundation matches me really well, I always just like to bring it down a little bit. And then just kind of, I always like to do that, you don't have to, just to kind of set the concealer that I have underneath. And just keep buffing, buffing, buffing. I'm going to take a little bit more. And I find that if you have problems getting a lot of coverage with this foundation, I mean, first of all, I think you should go into it knowing that it's not going to be full coverage, you know, like say as Estee Lauder Double Wear, it's not going to be like that. This foundation is meant to look like your skin. So just keep that in mind. And it really does just look like your skin too. That's why I really like it. And so see, I'm not really doing anything special, but aside from moisturizing really well. And that is all I do. And I'll show you, well, hopefully you can see that it has given me a nice matte finish, but without looking completely mask-like. I mean, it still looks like my skin. So hopefully you'll be able to see that in the camera. I'm gonna just go ahead and do my eyebrows, and I'll show you what I do for contour and blush. So I just take an angled brush and some dark eyeshadow to kind of fill in my eyebrows. Because I find that when you use powder, your eyebrows can get kind of like they pick up the powder, and then it kind of makes them look a little, what's the word, ashy, or like not ashy, I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is. They just don't look as dark because they picked up some of your foundation color. Okay. And then for contouring, I'm using my NARS Casino Bronzer that has a huge crack in it, or hole in it, because I dropped it. Okay, and I'm using a MAC 116 brush. I'm going to do my fish face. Bring it up to the temples and the forehead. And for me, I find that the Casino bronzer works better because the Laguna is too light, so it hardly shows up on my skin. I feel like I have to really pile it on. And then kind of bring it around the jawline. And sometimes I'll do some on the sides of my nose. Okay. And then for blush, I'm going to use, this is usually like my daily face routine. This is what I've been using for a while. This is MAC's Gingerly. I'm going to take, this is an e.l.f. complexion brush that I got at Target for like really cheap. Smile to find the apples of your cheeks. And then I just like to kind of dab it because this is very pigmented. Sorry, I'm looking at the mirror behind the camera, so that's why it might seem like I'm not looking directly at you guys. Okay. And that is what I do. And then on normal days, like if I'm not doing anything, I'm just going to add some mascara. This is the Volume Express 1x1 by Maybelline, which is really nice. It's lengthening, but it's also very volumizing. And it's not hard to take off at night, which I find that a lot of volumizing mascaras are so hard to take off at night. Okay, sorry if I'm making weird makeup faces. And then just kind of bring some at the bottom. Okay. And I forgot to tightline. I usually tightline before applying mascara, but I'll just do it this way right now. And this is a Rimmel Soft Kohl Kajal eyeliner. It's from the drugstore. I alternate my eyeliners a lot, but I really like this one. I actually like it more than the Urban Decay 24/7 in Zero. And I'm going to bring some on my lower eyelash line. What am I saying? My lower lash line. I like a lot of eyeliner, and my eyes are watering, so sorry if that's why it seems like I'm crying or something. It's because my eyes water every time I put eyeliner on. They just tend to water. Okay, and now I'm going to take my eyelash curler and just curl the eyelashes. Okay, and then I would take, let me see here, what lip gloss do I have? Victoria's Secret lip gloss in the color Wet. It's a very natural color, doesn't give you a lot of pigmentation. And there you go, that's all I do on a daily basis for, sorry, my shirt was like being weird. For my makeup. That is how I apply my Bare Minerals. It's very easy, very fast. I do find that if you want better coverage, you do have to spend quite a bit of time buffing it in. And I mean really buff it, buff it, buff it. Like you want it to kind of become one with your skin, if that makes sense. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave comments and please subscribe. I'll be doing more tutorials and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!